Welcome back, internet friends. Today, I'm going to take you along with me while I attempt a 3-day fast. I'm going to attempt to go for 72 hours with nothing but just water and sea salt. There's a couple reasons I do these fasts. I actually feel really good by the end usually. So I'm actually looking forward to this month's fast. I try to fast once a month, and I'm not a doctor, so don't necessarily do this. It's taken me a while to build up to the point where I can fast for 72 hours, and this attempt is the longest fast I've ever done. My previous month I did 66 hours, and that was my longest. We'll be using an app called Zero to help track the fast. It's really helpful. It has a lot of information, and it's nice that it has a timer so you can see how long you've been fasting, how much you've got left to go. You can also put notes as to how you're feeling and kind of keep track of your health during the fast. There's a ton of benefits to fasting. The main reason I started doing it is because I was having a lot of inflammation in my body. My joints, my tendons were constantly in pain. I was having carpal tunnel syndrome. My knuckles even and hands were starting to feel like very arthritic, and they crack a lot. So to reduce the inflammation, I wanted to try a fast because I'd heard autophagy takes place right around 48 to 72 hours, which is where your body goes through some extreme healing by recycling destroyed tissues. Your body, when you fast, you basically consume different junk in your body, and it makes your body look for things to consume. I kind of like to think of it as an oil change for the body. We put oil changes in our cars, once every few months. We change out the oil, we change the filter. It's kind of the same with fasting. Your gut and your digestive system are always digesting food. Any point in time, you've got 15 pounds of food in your body because your gut never has a break to stop breaking down food. You're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Most of us have snacks and eat all the time. Your body doesn't ever get a chance to be empty of food, and for healing processes to take place in your gut, that can only really happen when your stomach is fully empty. Another reason I started fasting was because it is really helpful for people who had blood sugar issues. In my other video, I reported that I used to be addicted to soda, and it caused me to have really irregular blood sugar and, somewhat pre-diabetic symptoms. So in order to sort of reset my insulin resistance and help my insulin levels remain normal, when I consume food and I'm not fasting, intermittent fasting, but, a 72-hour fast will also greatly help increase my insulin resistance. That means when I consume food that would spike my blood sugar, my body creates insulin, and it actually uses the insulin to lower my blood sugar. The problem with diabetes is that your body will still create insulin, but it doesn't work with your body. Your pancreas creates it, but your blood sugar won't go down. Your body becomes resistant to the insulin that you create. Fasting is a way to help improve insulin resistance and sort of combat the pre-diabetic symptoms. Now, there's many ways to fast. Some people will use coffee and tea. I've done that before, and I just like to fast on nothing but water and sea salt. That's no food at all. I've eaten well this whole week. I've tried to eat healthy, but I've eaten a pretty good amount. Last night, I actually went to a birthday party, which was a buffet, and I did eat pretty good. I try to eat low carb and even keto diet if I can a few days leading up to a fast. And my last supper is probably going to be just a gigantic healthy salad that I make at home. So the strategy is to eat healthy and mostly keto or low carb before the fast to kind of help my body get ready. I also do intermittent fasting, which means I sort of skip breakfast, and after sleeping I don't eat till about 1 p.m. So it gives me like 12 to 16 hours each day. My body is sort of mini fasting leading up to this. Now I'm going to have my last supper and go to sleep, and that already gets me like a solid 10 or 12 hours by the time I wake up and I'm really awake tomorrow. I always have some kind of emergency food around just in case I feel like dangerously low blood sugar, like I'm going to faint. I try to have some sort of protein like walnuts or something with me all the time, that just in case I need to abort the fast and eat food right away, that I have that food ready and handy. This helps to keep me from getting super nervous during the fast, because it is a little bit scary, especially the first few times that you fast. You do get hungry from time to time, and you want to make sure that you're comfortable and try at all costs not to eat that abort food, but have it handy as a psychological pillow to rest on. All right, internet friends, this is it. My last supper is this big salad right here, and then no food for 3 days. Let's eat and then let's fast. Finished my salad, and now I'm gonna fast for 3 days. So I open up my Zero app and I'm setting the time to fasting Saturday, 8:28 p.m. Update. We are fasting. Okay, so we are about 16 hours into the fast. Normally this would be the time I would eat a meal. It's about 1 p.m. and I haven't eaten since about 8 p.m. last night. So one thing that helps me not be tempted by hunger is I keep a really empty refrigerator. So there's like basically just this cheese, sparkling water, and as you can see, there's virtually nothing to eat in my fridge. I'm gonna have my lunch, which is literally just a few crackles of sea salt, Himalayan pink sea salt crystals, and some good old water. I keep one of these around with me in my car and just with me almost at all times, because the sea salt will usually help reduce symptoms of low blood sugar. Let's do this. That's salty. You don't want to do a lot, and you want to really ration the amount of sea salt you take, because obviously putting tons of salt in your body is not very good. But you need sodium, and normally you would get some sodium from the food that you eat on a regular. But since we're not eating any food for 3 days, having a little bit of sea salt helps somehow keep us from dying. This is really how I survived for 3 days without any real food. This is pink Himalayan sea salt. There's also Celtic sea salt. Regular salt is not as good, but if you were in a really bad situation where you needed some salt and you were fasting, I've done it, but sea salt is the way to go. I do feel a little bit inflammation, which almost every morning I have this like inflammation in these tendons here, sometimes in the wrist and in my ankles. It's this weird kind of discomfort in my tendons. Sometimes it becomes a stinging pain. I try to drink a turmeric supplement regularly and try to stretch my hands and legs to help relieve the inflammation pain. This is one reason I fast, because generally this inflammation will subside or be greatly reduced a couple days into a fast. There's another problem with fasting, is people invite you out to dinner. So my dad just asked me, like, what did I do for dinner? And it's sad, but you got to explain, hey, I'm not eating for a few days, I'm fasting. But most people understand. We just passed 24 hours with no food, and I'm not gonna lie, my stomach is gargling a little bit. It's definitely a little bit hungry. I'm not feeling really tired, so that's a good thing. I don't feel too much symptoms of low blood sugar, but it has only been 24 hours. Usually I have issues right around 36 to 40 hours of fasting. That means I gotta take a good amount of sea salt before bed, just so that my body has enough sodium so I don't dehydrate in my sleep. It's important you drink some water and you have sea salt before bed the first day you're fasting, because if not, I've noticed that I wake up in the morning feeling nauseous and almost really low blood sugar. At 36 hours, this may sound kind of personal, but I feel like you take the last poop. Your body always has food flowing through it, right? Through your guts and your intestines. Well, after like 36 or 40 hours of not adding any food to your digestive system, you finally like go to the bathroom one last time. And sometimes it comes with a little bit of nausea, but it depends how you prep for your fast. The healthier you eat before the fast, and just different factors can affect that nausea period that comes at like 36 to 40 hours. Almost time for bed. So I'm gonna have my midnight snack, a little bit more sea salt, and a big glass of water. Okay, good morning, internet friends. It's almost 37 hours into the fast. And I told you before, this is usually like a difficult time for me. I actually don't feel too bad at 37 hours without having food. I feel a little bit cold, and I don't feel cramps in my body yet, but I think there might be slight dehydration going on since I did just sleep all night. So I'm gonna start my morning with just a small crackle of the sea salt and lots of water, because like I said, water is super important while you fast. You gotta keep drinking water. But I feel okay. I'm reporting to you that I'm not nauseous. I haven't thrown up. I haven't even made the final doo-doo yet. You get used to the salt after a while. At first it's kind of uncomfortable to put pure salt in your mouth and wash it down, but you get used to it real fast. It's actually quite relieving now. Okay, internet friends, we are at almost 40 hours of fasting, and I feel pretty good. I just finished work, been very careful while driving on an empty stomach, but I feel really good. I did have one crackle of salt for my lunch. I just got out of my local grocery store because I had to stop and get some food. When I do break the fast, I want to break it with some healthy salad. I like to wear my mask when I go to the grocery store. It's really important you guys take this stuff seriously. At 40 hours and 45 minutes, something big just happened, you guys. Somehow I have not eaten in almost 2 days, but I just took my very last number 2. There was no nausea that came with it. Now my stomach and gut are completely empty. Those parts of my body can have this opportunity to repair and heal since they're not digesting food. One reason that fasting makes you feel really good is because your body finally gets to take a break from the hard work of digesting food. If you can imagine when human beings were hunter-gatherer societies, or even cavemen, if you had gone 3 or even 4 days without food, your brain is gonna get extra smart just out of a survival tactic. If you haven't eaten for 3 days, you're gonna start getting real creative and real crafty as to how to find and catch food. But I think this may be a reason that our brain sharpens when we fast. It's like 4 in the morning on day 2. I'm around 56 hours, no food. And I woke up in the middle of the night with a little bit of goosebumps and feeling some low blood sugar symptoms. So water and a little sea salt hopefully will relieve this. And I'm gonna go back to bed. Definitely feel a little weak, but we'll see. It's like 8 in the morning. I'm about 60 hours, give or take, without food. And I woke up this morning still feeling kind of low blood sugar symptoms. I got goosebumps on my arms and feel a little bit weak. In the first day or 2 that I hadn't eaten, my stomach was gargling because it was empty. And now my stomach, it doesn't gargle, but once in a while, I feel like a little bit of a throbbing right here in my sternum. But I did just have some water and I feel a lot better. I cannot take vitamins when I'm fasting. Last month, I did the 66-hour fast and I took just 1 inositol at about this time, which is 60 hours into my fast. And 20 minutes later, I basically threw up just that 1 little vitamin I took. If your stomach is 100% empty and you have not eaten in almost 3 days, you can't digest a vitamin. It's kind of a shock to your system if you just eat a vitamin. So I recommend holding off on your vitamins until your fast is over. Unless you can take them and doesn't upset your stomach. Personally, it upsets mine. Okay, internet friends, I gotta go to work. It's a Tuesday, so I'm gonna take some deliveries. Luckily, I only got one tiny delivery today. It's a good thing to take it easy on a day when you haven't eaten in about 66 hours. I'm at like 62 hours, I think. Because if you overexert yourself, if you exercise real hard, or if I was on my feet working really hard for a long time, your body hasn't eaten in a while, so you don't have a whole lot of fuel to exert yourself hard. So you can exert yourself a little, but I like to take it easy. When I'm over 48 hours of fasting, I definitely try to take it easy. But here we are at like more than 60 hours fasting, and I feel great. I feel sharp as a tack mentally. My stomach issues are completely gone. I don't feel like nauseous or anything. I do dream of food a little bit, but I feel really good. I mean, the inflammation in my hands is like way down. I feel super full of energy this morning. So let's go do a delivery. There are definitely a few things that are nice about fasting. Like, I've had extra time that I would have spent worrying about food or doing dishes or cooking. I haven't had to cook or do dishes since Saturday, and it's Tuesday. That is one less thing on my mind, not having to do dishes or even take a time out of my day to go get a meal somewhere. I just go forward with my day. No food, just a little salt, a little water. So I do screenshot my fasting app, and I update people on my social media with my story of how much I've fasted. And I do this for a couple reasons. It helps keep me motivated. I feel like I'm committed to the fast because I've told like a few thousand people on the internet that I'm gonna do one. Not only do I feel committed, but some people actually fast at the same time as I do, and we can kind of encourage each other, and they'll message me and say they're fasting too and how long they're going for, and we can kind of cheer each other on. All right, since I finished work early today and I'm gonna be taking it easy, I actually decided to do a nice little hike at the park. So I was feeling strong enough to bust out a dozen pull-ups and walk a mile through the park. I hadn't spent money on food in 3 days, so I bought my girlfriend lunch and just sat with her while she ate. We are at 68 hours. This is a new frontier for me. I've never fasted more than 66 hours before, but I feel pretty good, and I don't think it's gonna be any trouble getting to 72 hours. Well, internet friends, I'm alive, and we're 71 hours without food. I'm less than 1 hour away from breaking this fast, and I feel amazing, feel pretty good. I have a lot of anticipation built up to this meal. I haven't eaten in 3 days, so I'm definitely like dreaming about how good it's gonna be when I finally get to have some food. Thank you guys for coming along this journey with me. It's time to end the fast. We are a few minutes past 72 hours. So I did it, 3 days, no food. And I like to end the fast the same way I started it, which is with a big bowl of healthy greens, and I'll wait about 20 or 30 minutes after I eat this, and then I'm gonna have a really small piece of steak. I think it's important that you have something healthy because your body is starving for nutrition after this long of not eating. Mixed greens, it has fiber, it's pretty easy to digest, and it's high in nourishment. So I like to start with that, and then a little piece of steak or an omelet, that's for the protein right after. So that'll help raise my blood sugar back up. Oh my gosh, the first bite is so incredible. My mouth is salivating. When you haven't eaten in 3 days, it's like the most delicious thing in the world, whatever you put in your mouth after you break a fast this long. Oh, I'm salivating so much. It's incredibly good. It's worth fasting just to see how good food tastes after you haven't eaten in 3 days. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. You appreciate food so much more. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and smash the like button. Leave a comment, tell me if you plan to fast or if you think I'm crazy. Go ahead and subscribe. I do make videos all the time. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck to you out there. I'll see you next time, and just have a great day.